And what happens when you have volunteers come forward in your classes? What happens? Participation, everybody's engaged. Some of you do simulations, you do this kind of work, right? You get people engaged, you get them excited about the work. One more. Yay, all right, give them a hand. It's hard to volunteer, they don't know what they're gonna do yet, right? In some of the work I do, I talk about conflict management. How many of you talk about conflict management and the authentic conversations, the difficult conversations, right? So let me create a little bit of context for you here, and then I'm going to give them their instructions. There are 5 responses to conflict. There's several profiles, and a lot of information's been written about this. You may agree with it, you may not. But the basic 5 are: we can avoid something, we can compromise, that's a 50-50. We can compete, that means I win, you lose. We can accommodate, that means you win, I lose. Or we can collaborate, that's the win-win. 5 options, that's about all we got. There's an appropriate option for every conflict that we have. So I can lecture about this all day long and give you examples of my examples in my life, etc. Or I can have you experience it. And that's what we're going to do now.
Hi, my name is Solomon. I represent Simmerized Learning. I just attended Christie's awesome talk here at ATD Mumbai. She is brilliant in her work, and the beautiful 5C concept which she taught us of how to create a learning organization was simply fantastic. The audience involvement, engagement was brilliant, and we just loved the entire session. Thank you so much, Christie. All the best to you.
Making a difference in somebody's life. You and I have the most amazing profession. Do you realize we change lives every day? The thing that keeps me going in this is when every once in a while somebody will come up to me and say, I heard you 10 years ago. You came to my city government and you did a program on such and such. I don't even remember. They remember. Because I said something that day that made all the difference to them. A friend of mine named Tom Miller at Career Track used to say it this way: a man gives a woman flowers. What does this mean?
Be the context.
Be the context? A man gives a woman flowers. What does this mean?
I love you.
I love you. What else?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What else? I messed up. Okay? Could mean any number of things. When I said that sentence, a man gives a woman flowers, you decided what it meant. You decided what it meant based on what? Your experience with that particular thing. Now, if the man gives the woman flowers and, I'll take his first response, he loves her, but she thinks he's up to something, how is she going to respond? Suspicion, negative, distrustful, whatever. So it doesn't matter what his intention is, nor does it matter what your intention is when you open your mouth to tell someone about the wonderful service you offer. It doesn't matter what your intention is. It matters what their experience is with either someone like you or the last person that tried to tell them about their wonderful service or product. That's what matters. And somehow we got to get that through our head. That all the wonderful things we bring to the table don't really matter if the person isn't listening. Let's get the conversation going about influencers. Influencers in your life. I want you to turn to the person next to you and tell them a couple of characteristics of great influencers. What are the things that make somebody a great influencer for you? Do you think of somebody who's been an influencer for you?
Yes.
And then they'll come up to me and they'll go, you got a minute? Yeah, sure. I want to talk to you about my son. What? I was talking about communication. I was talking about team building, but this man was sitting back there and I thought he was not engaged at all. Has this happened to any of the rest of you? And then all of a sudden, it's like, you've got to be kidding me. I touched him somehow. And something I said, he connected with me at a heart level, and he's asking me a really personal, serious question, right? That he didn't want to do in front of his peers. So make no mistake about it, when you start having heart-to-heart conversations, it changes. It starts to create a learning organization. People start to recognize your value. Why? Because you're bringing more value into the company. I mean, you don't have to talk about anything in particular. You don't have to talk about something personal. You can certainly talk about something that is of interest to you. But it gives people connection points, and that creates a learning organization. Here's an idea for you. Open your business meetings with an EQ, emotional intelligence question like, what's motivating? Pets. Is that what you said? P-E-T-S? Pets? I love pets. Have one myself. Not everybody does, but that's motivational.